She drank from a bottle called Taste Me, and up she grew so tall. She ate from a plate called Taste Me, and down she shrank so small. And so she changed, while other folks never tried nothin' at all. That is a favorite poem of mine from a favorite author of mine, Mr. Shel Silverstein. Genius. Genius. If you have kids, read him. If you don't have kids, read him. This is, of course, speaking to Alice of Alice in Wonderland. And I started off this way today because I want to challenge you on this day of my Grow a Pair challenge to give up regret, to give up the idea of mistakes so that you can try everything in life that you want to try, and you can change and you can grow. So for a long time I had personal regrets over certain things in my life. I felt that I had made mistakes. I'm sure you feel like you've made some mistakes, some things you would do differently if you were to do it over again. One of those for me for a long time was feeling like if I had just had more faith in myself and my abilities, and if I had had different guidance, I should have gone to a better school. I should have at least tried to go to an Ivy League school. And I had this idea that this would have changed my life in ways that would have really ultimately made me happier. And if I had done that too, I also would never have married the person that I married, and I would have never found myself on that wonderful road trip to divorce hell, which I went on about 4 years ago. And I wouldn't have had a lot of the struggles that have ensued as a result of that. It's all BS. Because here's the thing. If I didn't go to the school that I went to, I probably would not have studied communication, which is what I studied. And I got to study the thing I love more than anything else, human communication and philosophy, combined in one degree and in one master's degree. And I got to teach public speaking, something that I was terrified of when I was young. Okay, these were things that were hugely critical in my life. Transformation. If I had not married my ex, I would not have had so many of the amazing experiences that I've had in my life, including my 2 beautiful children. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes. And I believe that today. I actually, truly believe that. And when there are no mistakes to be made, you are free to taste and to drink and to try. You are free to grow a pair of vocal cords. You're free to ask for what you want because you don't have fear ruling your life. Okay, that doesn't mean that you don't still experience fear. I experience fear all the time. But I know, had I not been on the path that I've been on throughout my life, I would have never gotten to the place where, for the most part, I do not care what people think of me. That is hugely, hugely liberating. To not care what people think of you. Imagine that in your life. But we do, we care, and we want to be approved of, and we want to follow the rules, and we want to have done it right. Because if I hadn't done this or this or that, then I would have more money, or maybe I would have had a child by now, or I wouldn't have had to suffer through this and that and this and that in my life. Or I would have become the blank that I thought I was supposed to become. And then, ... What? You would be more happy? No. You think you would, but you wouldn't be more happy. You would be just as happy as you are. And your pain is where you grow the most, and your struggle is where you grow the most. And your mistakes are where you can become the most liberated and free. We are not set down here with a roadmap that we are to follow. And those who try the hardest to follow the roadmap because they're too terrified to veer off are often the ones that are the most crushed when it all comes crashing down. as it always does. Eventually. So my Grow a Pair challenge for you today is to figure out what you think in your life is a mistake and rewrite that story and tell it to someone differently. The thing that you're most consumed with guilt or remorse or, God, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. No. Make that your most grateful piece of joy in your life. So I want you to tell somebody why you're so glad that you made this choice that gave you the experience of XYZ pain. Because it is all part of life, people, and no matter what choice you think you would have made, you would have still experienced pain. There is no getting around it because pain is inevitable. Suffering, however, is a choice. And when you harp on your mistakes and you don't forgive yourself for your mistakes, that is called suffering. And you don't need to suffer anymore. You can let it go. It is gone. You can let it go. No, my children are not growing up in a Norman Rockwell two-parent household. My kids have a great life, and they have a great relationship with their dad and their soon-to-be stepmom and their grandparents and their aunts and their uncles. They have a great relationship with everyone in their life, and I have a great relationship with their dad. It wasn't always that way. But when you start to let go of the idea of mistakes, grievances, wrongs, then you can be free. And that is what you really, really want. I'll catch you tomorrow.